Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am stay-at-home for you called Szabo. You can count your karma if Nirvana is your goal. You can shake and you can rattle. You can rock and roll. You can be a Clark Kent or a Lois or an Alice down the hole. You can be a vampire on a mountain with a heart of stone black coal. You can be a leather angel on a sleek black Harley bike. Or a redhead screaming faggot, or a dazzling dyke. You can lock yourself in a closet in a fine meat stove, but it really doesn't matter if you ain't got soul.
So, we need to talk about the future of trans people, transgender people. We need to talk about our safety. I moved out of a white neighborhood because I couldn't be myself there without being harassed. And I was literally at risk of getting killed there. And that has to do with the fact that I'm non-passing and that, you know, I have a voice that's not fully transitioned yet. The fact of the matter is that I'm a trans woman and we live in a society that is trans misogynist. I moved into a black neighborhood, not because I chose this specific neighborhood, but because I have friends in this neighborhood. And ever since I moved here, it actually, I mean, let me put it this way, it's been amazing. Like, I am so glad that I've been behind these people because I've gotten so much support from everyone here. No one has given me harassment. I feel free to be myself around here. No one has given me dirty looks. No one has called me a faggot. No one has called me anything like that. No one has, like, stopped by me and said shit about me. No one has grabbed my ass. No one has stuck a knife up my neck and tried to rob me or kill me. No one has tried to shoot me at all. No one has said that I should die because I'm a trans woman. That's never happened. No one's even made fun of me for being a trans woman. What's interesting, however, is that when you go into rich white neighborhoods, either you have to present as a man or you have to not present yourself as a trans woman. And it's like, I remember one time I was talking to my grandfather and I was trying to, let me back up a second. I understand that my grandfather, you know, is an old person who is likely not going to understand LGBT issues, but I do care about my grandfather and my grandfather cares about me. So I tell him these things. And I remember one of the things that he says was, it feels like you're hyper-sensationalizing everything. And I'm just like, no, this is who I am. If I was hyper-sensationalizing everything, I'd tell you what I was doing in bed. And that's not what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you anything about what I'm doing in bed. In fact, actually, that's exactly what That's exactly what these people are trying to do, is pervert everything. Trying to pervert every little thing to the biblical standard to get you to be afraid of us. This is a news report that I just saw recently. A clash between Black Lives Matter protesters and Blue Lives Matter protesters. And I want to watch it. It was an interesting one.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Amy Wattis. Paul is off tonight. Two opposing rallies gathered on opposite sides of the street outside of Shaler Middle School this afternoon. One for Black Lives Matter, the other Back the Blue. Shelby Cassessi was there and has more from both sides.
Two groups stood on opposite sides of Mount Royal Boulevard in Shaler Saturday afternoon. One, a Black Lives Matter rally of more than 100 people.
We just wanted to show that there were people willing to listen to Black and brown people in this community.
The other, a few dozen, for a Back the Blue rally.
The police put their lives on the line every single day. They don't care what color you are.
And then one person from the Blue Lives Matter person starts coming across the street, steps forward, and that's when he says,
at one point, those at the Back the Blue rally stepped into the street. There was one particularly tense moment caught on camera by a viewer when one person from the Back the Blue rally began shouting.
Kill transgenders! Kill transgenders!
Dear Secret Services, if I said kill the cops, you'd visit me like you did last time. But it's okay for Blue Lives Matter cronies to chant kill transgender without consequence from the community? This is unjustified.
And that's what we need to start talking about. We need to start talking about our survival. We need to start talking about our goddamn survival. Because essentially, the problem is that we get fucking killed all the time. And not only do we get killed, it is also Black trans people, Black trans women, especially, on a high demographic. But I'd like you to understand, a lot of the time, especially back in, the Nazi days, or even the pre-Nazi days, and especially today in America, people assume that we trans women are prostitutes, and that we go out in the middle of public dressed as prostitutes. We get pulled over as prostitutes. And so when you're a Black trans woman, you're more likely to be pulled over and assumed by the police as a prostitute, which is why they end up getting killed by the police far more often, and especially by white people, and especially by men in general, for fuck's sake. In addition, this is not consent. If you're a trans person, however, that does support the police, you do have to understand that the police is a white supremacist power structure. They are a white supremacist power structure that supports the capitalist class. And they do protect private property, not the people. Literally the intention of Sir Robert Peel, the creator of the police itself. The police would later go on to be slave catchers, the police would later go on to be Pinkertons. We have different kinds of police industrial complexes that serve the military industrial complex that oppress people of color, and not only that, but also serve the white supremacist power structure. And what did this have to do with being trans? Well, however, especially if you're non-binary, and especially if you're a trans woman or a trans man, but specifically makes the binary power structure a huge problem in our society.
I carry all energies, so let me speak this to y'all. We cannot be about white supremacy. Being about our genitalia, being about the gender binary is about white supremacy. You have to understand, on Turtle Island, pause on it, on Turtle Island, my people are Blackfoot. We had 8 different genders. We didn't give a fuck about what was between your legs. That's not where your power comes from. I'm tired of our black community being divided. I'm tired of my black people saying that me expressing my gender and my sexuality is in line with white supremacy. We can't let white people have nothing. They come from us. Africa is the beginning. Think of your divine feminine energy. There's a lot of black women that die by police officers as well. Sandra Bland and many others. There's a lot of trans women, black trans women started this shit. Marsha P. Johnson. Not enough people know about Marsha P. Johnson. She threw the first brick at Stonewall. She was for all her black people. Or Miss Major. Miss Major was a black trans woman who was arrested. She spent time in jail. Those black men did not like her because they thought transness was in line with white supremacy. They didn't understand. You have to understand, during slavery, they used to call some of us sweet. That means if you had pleasurable sex, that would not create more people that they would call slaves and commodity. They would take you, but they couldn't just whip you. They had to strip you from your community. They would bring you into the center. They would whip you and they would put sugar in your wounds and let it turn into molasses in the heat.
White supremacy is an evil that creates a divide in our society. The colonial divide, the hierarchical divide between the man and the woman divide, the patriarchal divide, in which we have the father and the mother and the rest of the nuclear family. White supremacy creates traditionalism, in which we have an alarming rate of violence and domestic abuse within our families, especially amongst women. And white supremacy with traditionalism creates an alarming rate of sexual assault from family members with children.
If people knew in their school, if 330 million children when they went to school learned from 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, the founding fathers were racists, they were abusers, or whatever age is appropriate for you to learn about that, whatever, 3rd grade, 4th grade, they really should learn it early, because guess what? So many people, 2 out of 5 people in New York are sexually assaulted or raped or molested by the police alone. Rape and pedophilia is endemic in the United States because America was founded by a pedophile, Thomas Jefferson.
So white supremacy not only has a power structure within the police system, not only does it have the power structure within the family, not only does it have the power structure within our life, but it also has the power structure within racism, it also has the power structure within the state, and it also has the power structure within literally all aspects of society, and it ought to be destroyed. Let me put it this way. If you're trans, especially a trans woman, what I'd like you to consider is your future. Consider your future. If you are with a partner, consider you and your partner's future. And if you're polyamorous, consider your circle's future. Consider getting training, consider getting behind the indigenous people and the Black Lives Matter movement. Understanding that the United States Empire is an antagonistic force against you and I. The United States was literally built on slavery, and it will always be built on hegemonic slavery. And it was also built on the exploitation of the proletariat. And not only that, but it was also built on the separation of families and loved ones. And even today, it is still continuously being built on the separation of families and loved ones. And I know a lot of trans people right now are dealing with the separation of families and loved ones. I myself am dealing with the separation of families and loved ones. Immigrants right now are dealing with the separation of families and loved ones by force. without consent. And if we have Blue Lives Matter folks who are chanting kill transgenders with their Blue Lives Matter flags at Trump rallies and Blue Lives Matter rallies, you need to get a gun. You need to get ready to defend yourself. You need to defend your right. I'm not saying you need to have a revolution. You need to defend yourself. It is time to arm transgender folks. It is time to arm transgender women. It is time to arm yourself. And if you live in a state that doesn't allow the right to bear arms, you need to move out of that state. You need to save up. You need to fundraise to save up. You need to fundraise to get a weapon. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Stock up on food, ammunition, water, seeds, and supplies. And here's the ultimate thing, right? If you're a cis white person, doesn't matter if you're trans or not, you need to be thinking about what you can do to give to brown and black and indigenous communities, especially those people. Because when you give to those communities, you're empowering them, especially resources. Not just, your wisdom, not just your theory, but especially resources. Because that's what they need. They need your backing, They need your arms, they need your elbow grease, they need everything that you can give them, more so than ever before. And my friend, there are 2 pieces of advice I can give you. One, I can give you the advice of the word of mouth. Now, I'm not a Maoist myself. I would advise that you check out Mao's work in here, just mainly because it has some good quotes in here. And there's also the selected works of Mao. But what I would definitely check out is just check out the word of Mass Line. What Mass Line does is it helps you reach out to your community for understanding your community, and you can also organize with your community and use these tactics of defending your community for when fascists come and when the Blue Lives Matter come and they start attacking your community, and the Proud Boys start attacking your community, and when the federal agents start attacking your community, you can all have a united front come together and be ready for organization. And also, you can serve the community in many different ways. For example, organizing general strikes. You can, do a diversity of tactics that range from, different kinds of sit-ins and, and marches and things like that. That stop gentrification within poor neighborhoods and things like that. And then my second piece of advice, if you live in a neighborhood that is too racist and too bigoted and will not help you at all whatsoever, and it's too fucking Christian and it's too fucking goddamn imperialist, what I recommend you do is reach out. Reach out. Please reach out. Make some friends online. You're not alone in this world. This world has people out there. There are so many people out there. There are some friends out there in this world. You're not alone. I promise you. I promise you. I reached out. I reached out to many different friends. I made friends with a friend of mine who gave me hormones when I wasn't able to get hormones. So please do yourself a favor. And please, do these steps. Get behind the indigenous movements. Mobilize. Get yourself a firearm if you trust yourself to use a firearm, that is. I'm not going to tell you to get a firearm if you don't trust yourself. But please, use self-defense right now more than ever before. And lastly, please defend yourself and your loved ones, because right now they're out to kill you. They're out to kill you. This is a heavy video for me to make. I don't want to make this video, but they're there to kill you. These Blue Lives Matter folks, they're not fucking around. They are armed. They are armed and they're ready to kill you. They are ready to kill you. They're waging war on you. They're waging war on you. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like what I had to say, be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. I don't know what else to say, but I just wish you all stay safe and have a great day. Good night, White Pride.
I'm so tired of this! I am so tired! I'm sleep deprived because I'm a single mom and I work full time and I have to come and spend my nights with you! Because I can't stand in my own streets and say Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter, that's why we're here. We're not here because of some building. We don't care about the building. We don't care about your stupid fence. We care about Black lives. And I'm a mom and I heard George when he called out Mama. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Because George called out for his mama. You all have moms. Your mom loves you. George's mom loved him, and my kids love me, and I want to go home to them. But they agree that this is important. And it's not about some white ladies, it's not about me, it's about Black Lives Matter. There's so many amazing black women who have been doing this fight for years, and I showed up late. I'm so tardy to this party, but I'm making up for it because I'm so angry. So angry. And black people are allowed to be angry, and who cares if somebody graffitis on this stupid building? We're talking about human lives.